Good evening. First tonight, over-dominant, obtrusive and fundamentally unacceptable. Words used to describe plans for Jersey's new hospital, which were thrown out today. Following a hugely critical report by an independent inspector, the island's planning minister has decided to turn down the proposals.
It means the health department will now have to revisit their plans despite millions of pounds of public money having already been invested. Well, Susan Ripoll has been following today's developments and is live for us outside the hospital. So, Susan, a surprising result.
Yes, for some, absolutely. This is the report that the Environment Minister, Deputy Steve Luce, received last Tuesday. It's taken him a week to come to his decision. In it, it includes the recommendations of the independent inspector, Philip Staddon. He, of course, held the public inquiry last November. Now, when I spoke to the Environment Minister today, he said that of all of the inspector's reports that he's seen, this has some of the strongest language. It's not only the biggest capital project to be undertaken on the island, it's now fast becoming one of the most controversial. Today, Steve Luce outlined his decision on the planning application for the future hospital.
The application before me today is probably as difficult, challenging and important as I could wish to have.
Explaining why he's rejected it.
This building will be looked at by everybody on the island for decades to come. It's important to get it better than it is at the moment. It doesn't need to be perfect, but we do need to find ways of designing the outside better. We need to step back a little bit, make some more insets so that the overbearance, the privacy, the loss of light, the effect on the townscape of St Helier is reduced.
In his report, the planning inspector outlines 3 key areas of concern, and his words are strong. Firstly, the effect the hospital would have on the townscape and visual amenities of St Helier. Here he describes the design as grossly out of scale, over-dominant, obtrusive and alien structure. Next, the effect it would have on the setting of historic buildings, in particular the Granite Hospital block, which the inspector says would be overwhelmed and overshadowed by the hospital. And finally, the effect on those who live nearby. The inspector says it would cause serious harm. There have been many voices against this proposal. Today, they welcome the decision.
I'm absolutely thrilled that it's been turned down by Deputy Stephen Luce. I think it's totally out of proportion. It would have created a monstrosity, I think, in St Helier, to the detriment of the local buildings. I think to actually build a hospital within, whilst doctors, nurses are operating, would have created a huge problem.
The Environment Minister says the site is appropriate, but changes need to be made if it does go ahead here. So where next for the future hospital team? Well, I'm joined now by Jersey's Health Minister, Senator Andrew Green. Senator Green, a disappointing result today for you and the team. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, clearly it is disappointing, and we've had a very busy day today, so I've not had a chance to read the full report. One of the positives, though, in the ministerial decision that came from the minister is that this is the right location. So we have the funding in place, we have the state's agreement on the site, and the minister saying this is the right location. And you know what? It's not unusual in large planning applications to have to go back and look at schemes and take note of what the inspectors say and come back. But I need to read the inspector's report. I need to get advice. But I stood on a mandate of delivering a new hospital, and the new hospital is going to be delivered.
Difficult to focus on the positives, though. His language very critical. He says, the design is fundamentally unacceptable. It's described as obtrusive and alien structure. It seems from these words surprising that the design even got to this stage.
Well, we consulted, despite I believe it says we didn't, we consulted very clearly with planning about the option when the other sites fell away, and most of those sites fell away because planning would not support the sort of building we would need on them. So we're not revisiting that. We consulted on that, and they said a tall building on the site may be considered. Now we've put that forward. They've said it's too tall. Then we need to look at the options. But I need to read that report properly. You've had a chance to read it. I've had meetings all day. It's in scrutiny this morning.
You are the Health Minister, though. Should you not have seen the report fully?
Well, it's an independent process. I got it at the same time as everybody else, and work has to go on. I will read it tonight. I will seek advice. I'll make another statement tomorrow with more detail in it. But we will come back with a plan.
And I mean, will you be consulting with, will it be the same team again? Surely it's a team that have kind of failed on this aspect.
The team have been fantastic. They've not failed. They put forward something that we believe to be something that we could deliver to provide a good hospital for Jersey. Planning say that they don't want to be as high as that, I believe. I haven't read the report. So we need to look at our options around that. But they have said that this is the right location. So that's a step forward.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. Disappointing result for Senator Green tonight. The planning application for the future hostel has been rejected. Back to you in the studio.
More reaction in the coming days. Susan Ripple in St Helier, thank you.